Welcome back, everybody. My name is Kevin Strange. I am a cartoonist, novelist, and filmmaker, and I am here today to share with you my love of comic books. Today, we're taking a look at Johhny Ryan's Prison Pit, the best worst comic. Uh, yeah, let's jump right in. To this book is it's enormous. This is a phone book of a comic book, and Johhny Ryan is an interesting guy. This is a 700 page collection of one of the most simplistic art styles um, that you'll ever see. It's this guy just he could probably crank out, I don't know, 10, 15 pages a day. I've never spoken to the fella, so I don't know for sure if that's true, but um, but judging by the visual style, this is just these pages are just dashed out, and they mostly take on a four-panel grid, uh, broken up by some two panels and three panels, and oftentimes we'll get a splash page every now and then like this one here. But Johhny Ryan is an interesting fellow because he straddles that line that I fall over, fall back and forth on very gracelessly. He seems to be able to straddle this line very gracefully, and that line is he creates children's content for Nickelodeon, and then this like extreme adult content in indie comics, and I admire that a lot in creators because I have this sort of duality pulling me in different directions as a creator. But we're not here to talk about me. It's just one of the reasons that I admire Johhny Ryan's work so much. This is absolutely adult content. You do not want to share this with your children. Uh, in fact, the main character here, his name is Cannibal Fuckface. So yeah, you don't want to share this one with your kiddos. Uh, Story opens on a full on a splash page of black, and then we sort of pull out into the pit. We have this contraption that leads up to a some sort of uh, rectangular, very simplistic, minimal. Everything about Johhny Ryan's style is minimalist. This this is sort of a rectangular shaped. I guess this is a spaceship. This is sort of a this is a prison colony called Prison Planet. Obviously, it's the theme of our big opus here. Chapter one, of course, is called "Fucked," and very quickly, Cannibal Fuckface here is tossed into gets into a fight with some guards, and then he is tossed out of the ship and down into the hole and onto the prison planet. And this book just goes. He crawls out of this pit, and he's all messed up, and it just what Johhny Ryan's style, especially the style of Prison Pit here, reminds me of. It reminds me of the style and the sort of subject matter that my friends and I would draw in junior high. My friends and I, we were avid drawers of these weird little mini comics in middle school, and they didn't have to be they didn't have to look good. We had crude. I still have a crude art style, but we had a crude art style because we were kids and we didn't care. We just wanted to tell weird stories with monsters and weirdos and blood, guts, and gore, and that's all literally all this book is. And it just from the word go. It's just this character, Cannibal Fuckface, running into character after character after character and fighting them in these ridiculous ways. This guy rips his stomach out, throws it, hits Cannibal in the face, and it develops these tendrils and starts wrapping themselves around him, cocooning him, even just right off the bat. we're already into the middle of a crazy fight, and this character that threw his guts and encased cannibal into this whatever. Uh, it almost looks like a cocoon, like a bunk cocoon. Uh, and then Shink, of course, he's just got this like cool armor and these weapons that just come right out of the arms. I mean, this is the stuff you draw at like 11, 12, 13 years old. And I love the fact that Johhny, as a grown man, can channel that childhood, uh, you know, puberty, as a kid going through as a young man going through puberty. It's like you're these hormones are just like racing through your body, and you're just absolutely insane with with all these different feelings and emotions, and rage and anger are some of them, and getting them down. Guys like me who weren't necessarily athletic, or we didn't play a lot of sports, we would sort of get that crazy teenage angst out in comic book form, drawing these ridiculous, ultra violent, offensive style comic books. And it's great that Johhny, as an adult, can still channel that. Can still channel that stuff, that humor and angst, and anger, and just like yearning for ultra gore. This dude takes a swing at Cannibal, knocks his the chains free from his hands finally. So he's finally got his hands free. He immediately rips the guy's arm off and kills him with it. And you just look at this shot right here where he's just sitting there with his one arm, and Cannibal's got the his other arm raised above him. That's like a Rob Zombie esque scene right there, where you can just imagine him hanging there in the air for as seconds go by, and this poor man just waits for his impending doom, and then smash, smash, and cuts him in half, and splat falls to the ground. And all we have are these like rudimentary, weird looking skies, and then like a horizon line, and then just some like jagged rocks and a couple of cactuses. It's just such a minimalist style, and this just happens over and over and over again. Very very quickly. Look at this thing. Look at this skeleton mounted to a cactus. I love this full page spread here, where it's just the remains of that character that was just murdered. It's just right there by itself. This, this cactus is oozing, and the slug monster starts slurping up the ooze and gore from the cactus. And here's our hero walking up to him. And he just immediately says, "Disgusting," and stomps it to death and kicks it away. And then, hey, and it's a whole gang of weirdos. Um, Here's our guy down here, and we've got this main guy here. He's got this skull and these weird rings as like a neck adornment, and then he's got these awesome spiked shoulder pads and a swastika for whatever reason. He's got because when you're a kid, you just draw shit like that, but just to be edgy. It's funny. It doesn't mean anything. It has no like meaning, contextual meaning to the story. It's just there to be shocking and offensive. He's got this awesome spike ball for a hand. His buddy over here is this weird devil looking thing. He's like rabid. He's just got like rabid, you know, just stuff oozing out of his mouth, and then this sickly looking guy over here that he's hanging out with. And it's just, this just goes on and on and on. There's no sense to it. It's just like, hey, you stomped my slorg. So I guess this thing's called a slorg, and he's upset that Cannibal's stomped it, and so now they're going to fight about it. And of course, it's just going to be this horrible, disgusting stuff. So there's this guy drooling and oozing is going to be the first one to fight. And first thing Cannibal does is just swing through his neck, and his neck falls off and starts splurting blood, and he falls over. And Cannibal rips his head off, and I guess starts eating it. Takes a bite out of it, something, and just tosses it over to his buddy. But of course, that's not all, because something is going to worm its way out of this character's head. Two arms are now out, and then a new head comes out, and now he's got new arms and a new head there. And this is it's just fun stuff. It's just these 4-panel grids, just over and over and over again. He fights these things, and it's never going to get any more sophisticated than this. And if you're, as a young kid, and you're sitting in school and you're hating everything, and you're bored, and teachers are droning on, and you can just sit in your notebook and you can scribble these like fight scenes that don't have to mean anything. There's minimal dialogue. There's minimal, the story is just beat up the next thing, beat up the next monster. And this is just, it's just this cathartic kind of. If you're like me and you did this in school when you were a kid, this is just like this cathartic way to like get this energy out, and waste time in school. And like I said, I bet he just cranks out page after page after page of this stuff. What did he do? Just pop a pimple, and it's like all this pimple juice forms into a sickle and cuts off our guy's arm. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's awesome. And then hits him with his spiked ball. He gives the hand over to the sickly. Our swastika boy gives the arm over to the sickly guy, and then we fade out. Well, let's just go ahead and do a 4-page instead of I guess it's 5 panels of darkness instead of doing a full page, because this conveys the passage of time. He's been knocked out for a while, right? And now we have that weird sky that Johhny draws, and then our guy's literally licking his own wounds, trying to cauterize this his cut off arm here. He's puking, and all these little things show up and start licking his puke. It's just gross. And he's staggering around, half dead, missing an arm. And the Slorg. Chapter 3 is Slorg, because he's about to meet. He's falling down rocks, but he's basically dead, right? He's wasted. But the Slorg, or a Slorg, not the one he stomped, a different Slorg, slithers up to him, and he grabs it. And this dude's like, "Drop that Slorg." He's got a little wiener. So they fight about it, and I guess he's jerking off, and he encases himself in his own ejaculate and becomes an ejaculation monster. It's just, I mean, and we're 100 pages in to this book now, and it's just been nonsense after nonsense. And I want to get to this one part here coming up, and then we're gonna, this will be a quick video, because it's just redundant to go on and on. I mean, I love reading it. I'll read this thing over and over and over again, and it energizes me and gives me a lot of creative inspiration to do my own stuff. To just let loose, just let the pen go, right, and just draw and not care, not worry about anything. So our boy is now has been absorbed into the ejaculate monster, and then jettisoned out of it, and he's all messed up now. But the slorg crawls over and attaches itself to our guy's appendage, and you can see the anatomy of this. The slorg is now like I guess become one with the anatomy of Cannibal, our guy, and sort of parasitically attached himself to him on a physical level, and we can even see those tendrils of whatever have gotten into our guy's eyes. And he wakes up, and now he's got this splorg for an arm, and he jumps right back into the splooge monster, swims up, grabs the dude, and bites his head off, bites the top of his head off, and the splooge monster dissipates, and we're just left with our boy um, feasting on the corpse and kicking away what's left, and burping. And now he has. I can hear you talking inside my head, talking to the splorge monster. And I'm not going to get to There's a real disgusting part. Um, yeah, next page over. We're not going to go. We're going to end here. But now our boy has a sort of symbiotic parasite for an arm, and it just got, I mean, we're only one seventh of the way through this 700-page book, and it's Johhny Ryan's Prison Pit. I recommend this for anyone who likes really childish, sophomoric, offensive, uh, splatter punk, ultra gore style comics. Very good book. I recommend all of Johhny Ryan's work. It's all very offensive. Definitely not for your kids. But dad wants to have a chuckle. If dad, like me, has a real sophomoric sense of humor and likes this kind of childish crap, um, highly recommended. Highly recommended. Two thumbs up from old Kevin Strange here. So if you like things like Prison Pit, you might like my style of comic books as well, and you can support me over on my Patreon page, which is linked in the description, where I have almost 20 years worth of my comic books, novels, and feature films that are all sort of in the same vein of ultra violent, offensive splatterpunk style. And all of that is available there for only $3 a month at Patreon. So that's going to conclude our Johhny Ryan's Prison Pit episode. And I will see you guys at the dollar bin.